And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Hey, y'all, come on in. You're here on a great day.
We are headed to the Atchafalaya today with the Cajun Blade.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, I would like to talk about my new set Marcus got me for Christmas. So this is the bowl from Oliworks. This is the Crater Bowl. I went with the matching orange so it matches my new razor. And this is now how the brushes come in this fancy box. The brush is called the Asteroid brush, and it comes snug in this little thing.
Our first brush didn't come in this box, so we're hoping there's also a box coming for the bowl.
Maybe.
Because the box is worth the price of admission. And y'all, we think there's a little bit of an enigma to how this builds lather, and we think it might depend on the direction that the brush is going, but stay tuned for a review of my blue one. And what is our soap today?
We were waiting for the Cajun Blade to open back up after the holidays to make sure that you could grab one yourself, so let's meet it.
All right, y'all, from the Etsy page for the Cajun Blade.
The fragrance. This is the deepest, most atmospheric blend I've created. Wild blackberry, cypress needle, Palo Santo, swamp cedar, smoky patchouli, aged oud, amber resin, and the unmistakable scent of wet Louisiana earth. It unfolds slowly, layer by layer, the same way the basin reveals itself when you move through it at first light.
The story. The Atchafalaya has been part of my life since I was young. Hunting bucks at first light, catching sac-a-lait in winding channels, and pulling flathead cats off trot lines under warm Louisiana moonlight. In the spring, the levees burst with white blackberry blossoms as the basin wakes up again. Those moments are the backbone of this scent, and every lather is tied to that real Louisiana life. Well, y'all, with authors, don't they say write what you know? Isn't that like the rule of being an author? I love it when soap artisans bring us scents that they are familiar with, bringing the basin to the brush.
Step into the legendary Atchafalaya River Basin, where cypress trees rise out of black water and mist hangs thick across the water. This shave soap captures that atmosphere in the F1 Bradford base, a heavy-hitting, butter-rich formula built for dense, ultra-protective lather. The basin spans over 2,100 square miles and 1.4 million acres, one of the last untouched wild sacred places in America. Every lather brings the same feeling: dark water, clean cypress air, warm earth, and the stillness that settles over the bayou at dawn. A true Louisiana shave born straight out of the Atchafalaya.
It's like taking a mini vacation in your shave locker. Profile: deep, earthy, woody, atmospheric, unmistakably Southern. Well, y'all, we can't wait to take this little beauty out of the box. All right, y'all, so Eric let us know he was sending out a smaller reviewer-sized set for review, but we sent him some money and bought the full-size soap anyway because we had heard such amazing things about it. And look how they come. Y'all. Oh, beautiful. Oh, thank you, card. That counts as a note. Thank you, Eric. Love it.
Oh, it does have a note, even on the back.
I appreciate the support.
Aww.
Oh, we appreciate you, my friend. Oh,
look at that.
Label.
Woo-wee.
One of my favorite parts of all of Disneyland is the Blue Bayou, where you're just kind of floating through a swamp and there's an old guy playing the banjo and it looks just like that, and it's so relaxing and beautiful, even though it's all, Disneyfied and fake. I'm hoping maybe we can get a little bit of the scent soundtrack of that ride today. Oh, and there's some more prizes in here. We did not buy this. Thank you, buddy.
Thank
Eric sent us out a splash and a sample of the EDP, which they're doing now at the Cajun Blade, so that we can really get our noses on this scent. All right.
Trifecta.
I know, and I think it's time for our first impression. And y'all, we've got the original sample size to give away to one of you today. Stay tuned for messages for a very special giveaway. All right, well, since you just shaved with neutral ground, I think you should go first. I'm excited to see how something as beautiful and bright and gourmandy as the blackberry will be up against the soily and oody notes hiding in this. All right, take it in, see what you get.
I know, I think there was even Palo Santo, stuff we haven't had in a while.
Fir needle.
Ooh, there are things in that board. Look at the darker kind of, is that actual blackberry
These
kind
little
of things?
specks. I don't know.
All right, watch out.
All
It's
right,
strong.
take it in, see what you get.
Wow, okay, it's super fresh. Like, I really feel like if I close my eyes, I could be out there somehow. Like, the greens around me are different. They're not greens that I normally know. I think it might be the cypress kind of thing that's hitting through. You're not hit right away with the blackberry overthrow of everything.
Okay.
It's there, but it's kind of hidden. So I don't know if it's more of the blossom side of the blackberry, maybe. So it's gentle. I actually get more of that, the green, like vines around me or the cypress trees or something. Like, there's a little less sun coming through the trees. Like, the dampness is almost part of that. Part of the whiff. I know we were expecting this to be really dark. There are dark sides to this, but I'm not actually standing in the dirt. Somehow I'm on the boat in the water, but around me, it's kind of setting the tone. So there is a dampness, there is a wetness, but that's not the part that stays with me. That might be just barely in the base, and then it kind of turns into those lighter, brighter sides. It's almost creating like a smoky kind of quality. Maybe that's more the oud and the Palo Santo meeting in there, but that's as dark as I'm getting. So I'm not actually getting like dirt floor, but the dampness is kind of jumping into that smoky kind of wave coming through.
What's like its spine? What is its center?
I think it's more of like an herby kind of side, like the smoke-ish kind of notes meeting with the cypress side. And then the blackberry, to me, it's not fresh. Like, I don't want to pull it off of the bush. I feel like it's more like it's been smoked or something's happened to it. The texture of it is a little different than I was expecting, but I love that it's kind of setting that tone of being somewhere that I haven't been. Parts of it are familiar, but then they're twisted and kind of moving in a different way. There's a lot of different routes into this scent. If I go in looking for the blackberry, somehow that takes me more into the smoky, oody, Palo Santo kind of spice zone.
Nice.
If I go in looking for the cypress, like the kind of herby tree side comes through, and it's a different tone, and then I get to the smoky side after. If I go in looking for the darker, deeper side, somehow I only get the brighter blackberry kind of little zest at the end. So depending what you start off with, you have very different routes onto this river, my friends. Just saying. I feel like I'm starting to get to know the base a little bit more, but the base of the soap itself really works for this scent, and it almost adds like a little creamy charm to this that really works for taking me to somewhere I haven't been, but making me feel comfortable while I'm there.
Well, that's the definition of Southern hospitality.
There you go, right? There's parts of this that are a little kind of scary in the oody kind of parts, but I feel like that might be part of the experience of being on the Atchafalaya. Like, there's just stuff hidden under the water or far away that you can't see. So you kind of have to be in like that adventurous kind of spirit to take this on, I think.
The folklore and ghost stories from New Orleans are legendary, y'all. I would hate to think that a little bit of that spookiness wasn't in the scent, too.
I do feel like it is the start of a day. There's the dampness. It's not quite nighttime. Like, even in this picture, you can kind of see the sun rising, and somehow that's part of this. Like, I would love to start my day smelling or going to a place that smells like this. I feel like it would just literally brighten your spirits. There's something about getting away into nature, off the grid, that this kind of brings into the scent in a fun way. I think it's the cypress. There's just something about like nature giving you a hug and pushing you off onto the river.
Now, masculine or feminine?
You know, I don't think I go either way. To me, it's really taking me to a place. So I get there's parts of it that can be more masculine. I think the ouds, the darker kind of dampiness coming through, but then it brightens itself up with the cypress kind of clean note into the blackberry side. At first, when I read blackberry, I thought it was going to be a little more feminine just because that tends to have the blackberry blossoms and other stuff. So I kind of like that it has a lot more depth going on in between those two ends. At first, I thought it would have a little bit more of the voodoo yeti kind of thing because it's a similar idea of the swamps and stuff. But no, my friends, this is a completely different side. It does have that thumbprint from Eric at the Cajun Blade, but it has a whole different way of taking us to Louisiana, which I am loving getting to know. I think the spice that I was getting might be more of like a patchouli meeting the Palo Santo. Like, I don't think it's exactly that. That's where it gets a little more smoky, but there's something light and green, and it has not quite an aftershavey hit, but there's just something that's adding that little spice to it that I'm really liking getting to know in here. I'm not sure what's kind of giving me the sun coming up vibe. It might be more the blackberry, but there's not really a citrus or something that's going any sweeter than the blackberry. So that's the perfect amount of sweet. It's not quite gourmandy, but it's real. It's the actual fruit. And just that natural sweetness is enough to make me feel like I'm about to have a great start to my day. All right, I think I'm ready for you to take a trip down the Atchafalaya, my friend.
I am too. All right, put my waders on.
There you go, right?
Get me some bacon to throw to the gators. All right, taking it in. Here we go. Oh. You know, just a quick peek at the soap, I get something kind of floral and fruity that kind of meets me at the door, and a little bit of a sense of that base that I am getting to know now from the Cajun blade. Not unfamiliar if you know the rest of their line, but some beautiful nooks and crannies to discover. Ooh, okay, hold on, let me dive in for real. All right, the blackberry is not built with anything tart, pulpy, or even balsamic. It's almost built with florals. If you had called this blackberry blossom, I would have believed you, and I love that because that helps offset some of the other notes that are a common. Woo, but that is definitely the doorman. And then you know that sweet minerally soil note in the dark cathedral from Soap Palooza that we just covered. That is in here a bit as that soily note, and what I love is that mineral sense in the soil does give it a beautiful earthy sweetness. And that sweetness from the earthy part of the Louisiana soil is meeting with the sweetness of the blackberry almost seamlessly. So you're like standing in the earth before you even realize you're there. It's sweeter, it's friendlier than I was expecting because the soil sits way under the surface as just kind of the canvas this is being painted on.
Just kind of helps set the tone.
Right. And that's a great part of how this is being done. This is being done on a dark canvas, but you almost can't see the canvas at all because the lights are so beautiful and blue and green and yellow. You really have to look for that black velvet of the oud smoke and the soil and those other notes that are under the surface. But without being on a black canvas, you never sense how light those light colors are. That's what's being done here. This is not a dark, dank, pokey scent by any means. Bright, beautiful. I'd say leaning a little bit, maybe 51% towards you, and a feminine persuasion of things, 49%. Me, kind of what Tom Ford did with the unisex line of things.
You know, I think I was expecting there to be more of the ozone kind of vibe that he's been using in the last few, but I don't think I'm getting it here. That's where I think it's like a little darker outside.
Right. And funny, because that almost makes it more aquatic, oceany, or like a lake aquatic. This is more your river aquatic, where you can get to the other side in half an hour. And the fruity part for me doesn't stay specifically blackberry. It kind of widens out into a little bit of a fruit salad. Nothing tart or sour or even citrus in this fruit salad, but even bordering on like watermelon. Like there are things like that in the sweet, fruity part of this. This is going to be weird, but the gourmandy part in this almost reminds me of how I used to crave Flintstone vitamins. I know that's weird. And you are right. Light, bright morning. It's almost floral without really being floral, but I think there are some flowers in the base of this. Something small, white, masculine, lovely. I almost want the darker parts turned up.
I hear you.
A little bit, because like when you see this, it's almost like coming out of a dark bedroom into a bright sunny morning and you're like, ah!
Maybe when we get to the splash or the EDP, there might be parts of it in the dry down that we get more of that.
Right. But my eyes need to adjust. And if I do follow it all the way to something herby and grassy, I almost get what my nose perceives as like clover up against wheat. That's where this is stopping, and that's as dark and dank as this really gets. The smoke and the oud, it's almost like you're standing on one hill and you're seeing the smoke and the oud rise on the other hill, and you're like, oh, it's over there.
That's funny. My nose found that right away, and I almost couldn't get away from that part of it. So it's just interesting what we get. Yeah.
Wow. All right, y'all. Well, grab one of those oars for me. We're going to go downriver, build a lather, and look at these scent notes. All right, y'all, back to the Etsy page for the Cajun Blade. We start with top notes of
Wild blackberry and cypress needle.
That one is almost hidden for me. Hold on, let me see if I can find that evergreen hiding in here.
It's more the needle. Maybe that's why I was getting like that green herby kind of side. It was more that.
A tiny bit of a piney sweetness in here, but nothing too cypressy or evergreen for me.
It's very rounded out. I think because it's right next to the blackberry, it's almost making it sweeter in a way.
And then these beautiful heart notes, Palo Santo, wood, sweet, dry, inviting, spicy, smoky, patchouli. All right, hold on a second. The smoky patchouli and the oud are kind of being yin-yang for me in this. I think it's a super clean patchouli and a little bit of a darker oud going on in there.
Yeah, my brain likes having the aged oud, the Palo Santo wood, and the smoky patchouli together. I don't really want to pull them apart because they're complementing each other in such a fun way.
And then this is interesting. Usually cedar, which is clean, effervescent, masculine, has an adjective because we're looking at swamp cedar bark. Swamp kind of speaks to something dank, kind of speaks to something a little bit pokey, but not completely uninviting here. Almost a vetiver kind of a sense, if I were to say that.
Yeah, I don't really get anything like too damp or dank that is like stagnant water.
Right.
This water is still alive and well. Like nothing in here, I'm like, ooh.
Right.
So whatever the swamp portion is being created with, I think it's just a wet cedar bark kind of idea.
And then aged oud. Oh, and this is beautiful. Perfectly descriptive. Amber and cypress resin, and they are the same scent note. So amber could be anything, whether it's golden or gray. And it's sometimes built with vanilla or brighter things. And here it's up against a cypress, a beautiful chypre sort of sense in there.
I like that it's using the cypress resin. There's something that's kind of adding the cleanliness, and I think that's part of how that's happening. Maybe because it's next to the white musk, my brain is putting those two together.
You know, hold on. I had missed that initially. White musk at the bottom of this. A little bit of clean laundry to go out in the swamp with. Kind of makes sense. Hold on.
I think that's my start the day kind of feeling. Like you're still cleaned up somehow. You're not dirty from being on the river.
It's just a little bit of sugar in the coffee.
Yeah.
Kind of the way it's being used here.
But that is next to dark swamp, earth, and wet soil.
100%. Not unfamiliar from the dark cathedral or even terra from PAA. Beautiful, mineral, rich.
That was harder for my nose to find. I was having more fun hanging out with the oud and the Palo Santo patchouli zone.
Yes.
That part just must be adding that little darker texture, but it's not as damp and wet as I was really perceiving this whole scent to be. There's a lot of pretty sides going on.
Yeah, and the sweets are very, very bright. You almost have to put on sunglasses to find the other earthy things in this.
But we can see what happens when we add a little water, since there's a lot of water on the river here, you know?
All right, here is your crater bowl from Oliworks and some of our bougie sticks here from Amazon.com. Oh, and some work has been done here on this soap. Sarah's just going to push that into the ridges of the Oliworks bowl.
I wonder if he intentionally add those black little specks so that it looks like soil. Because it kind of looks intentional. He has done that with the little baby in the other, you know?
In Bon Thames Barbershop.
So I'm wondering if that was kind of part of the fun effect here.
A little bayou water to get things activated here. And let me get you your Asteroid brush. All right.
Okay.
We're still a little bit new to this bowl. Let's see what happens here.
All right. So I'll start off just trying to get the soap onto these bristles going one way and then the other way. It really does help to have these little divots to get the soap into, I've got to say. And then I'm going to turn my brush, and same thing. Go out in one direction and the other direction.
This brush is quite the display machine. I'm loving it just for that.
I think it's kind of how long this actually is, so it really has a lot more splay to it than
bristles.
You're expecting.
Right. The white musk is pretty prevalent.
I'm getting more of that, and there's something about like a sweet green that's almost coming through. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I do have to say, this bowl really keeps the heat well, too, surprisingly. Like, I almost reached for it the other day, and I was like, whoa, that's a little hotter than I was expecting. But this lather, this F1, my friends, woo-wee!
Beautiful.
Okay. No, we never talk about lather, but there you go.
And this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Nile River runs backwards with on 3, 1, 2. Oh, there was a little tanginess in there.
I think that's a little less sweet, maybe?
Yes. It's way less sweet. I'd say about 30% less sweet, and I'm getting way more of those base notes.
Yeah, the blackberry is kind of now at the back of the whiff. Here, it was at the beginning of the whiff for me.
And y'all, we love watching Eric shave on YouTube, the Cajun blade himself, but we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet. We thought you might like to see with this lather. Oh my Lanta, look at this, y'all, and look at the spray on this brush if you want to build the rest of that lather on your face. Kidding me with this.
I know, I feel bad wasting all this wonderful lather.
Here, put some on your face quick. We might have to shave the dog.
Yeah, all these butters in here, they just immediately feel good with this winter weather, I gotta say.
And it makes my stubble not disappear. It makes it feel like sandpaper, which my favorite lathers do, because it lets the razor blade get up and under it, I think.
I think Erica's the one that uses the straight most of the time, so it really, you're extra padded and safe with this bad boy.
Right. Well, y'all come along with us. We're going to go a little bit deeper into the bayou and see if we can find a few more nooks and crannies to discover. Oh, it's time for the splash. Oh. And we love it comes in little hot sauce bottles, because, Cajun.
The label on it says after sauce, which I love, too.
All right,
it comes out fast.
It comes out super fast. Just tip it a little bit.
But if I spill this on the dog, I won't completely complain.
Oh, it's thick. Interesting.
Oh,
whoa,
okay.
Hold on.
A lot of skin foodie things in here.
Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, this is quite different. Oh, I'm getting all of those darks. I'm getting the soil. I'm getting the oud and smoke.
Oh, the
in
cypress
a different way.
needles.
Right.
And then that right next to the patchouli and the Palo Santo. Okay, it's a little more masculine here, I gotta say, but I'm enjoying it. It matches the logo a little bit more, I gotta say.
Just as sweet, but the sweet's being done more with the entire choir. Yeah. Does that make sense? Rather than just a few of the singers?
But I am getting more of that almost minty side of the cypress.
I almost just said mint. She's right.
It almost is creating like a menthol-y kind of vibe.
Oh, and I love how this feels like a balm, not a splash.
Is there menthol in this?
Oh, I'm guessing.
No. Oh, yes, there is.
I told you.
So maybe the minty was a little bit more of the menthol.
We just did Choco Caliente Inferno, so I am a little sensitive to menthol at the moment, Doug.
This one likes menthol, as you can tell. She's trying to get
But
some.
I get why she loves this. This is way more of the real place now. This is more a little sweeter, a little bit more of the imaginative idea of where you're standing, but the splash, this is really put me there.
Almost the menthol added to like the cleanliness side of this, like the white musk thing coming through.
And we do have a little bit of an EDP sample if we want to see what this oil is like at its fullest concentration. All right, let me go first. Ready? Oh. Whoa! The sweetness has almost been inverted. Here, this is lovely. I'm getting way more of the sweet from the wood, way more of a minty sense in this. This is nice.
There's just a little bit of that like southern charm at the end.
Right.
That's really coming through in the EDP part, which I'm enjoying. Like it's just a little kiss on the way out the door kind of feel.
This blackberry is kind of what I was hoping the Ralph Lauren purple would have been. This is lovely. And not tobacco with the smoke. That's funny.
Yeah.
This is devoid of tobacco. But I love that the smokes coming in this are not unfamiliar in the patchouli, in the oud.
To me, the blackberry here is almost like a little hidden secret. It would be really easy to have blackberry kind of go like a cough syrupy kind of thing or like overdone.
Right.
This doesn't. I don't know how they found the best parts of the blackberry to throw in here, and it complements everything else going on in this scent. I would have had no idea that blackberry blossoms were a thing at Atchafalaya, but I'm loving it.
80s babies. We know our blackberry syrup from IHOP, right? That's where my nose goes. Was it boysenberry? It's close enough.
Yeah. This isn't as sweet. It's just a gentle little nudge in that direction.
Right.
I like the intensity of this menthol. If it's more the synthetic one,
right.
Whatever it is, it's just a little gentle wisp. It's almost like if I walked out the front door and it was just colder outside than inside. There's just a little light coolness going on.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be on a funeral convention to New Orleans with your folks. You're going to be on your third cemetery tour, wondering why there are so many mausoleums in New Orleans rather than ground burials. And you're going to ask your tour guide, and he's going to say, well, as soon as you dig 3 inches down with a spoon, you hit water and get your own. So head over to the Cajun Blade store on Etsy.com to find this and all kinds of other cool stuff. Atchafalaya? How did Barry say you pronounce this? Anyway, I had a fabulous shape with it. And as I've gotten to know it, I love that those beautiful florals pull so hard to the right and the beautiful earthiness pulls so hard to the left, and somewhere in the middle is a fabulous balance of light and dark. And y'all, this is next level when it comes to the shave itself. As thick as I have ever experienced, as rich and slick as I would ever need it to be. And y'all, if you keep getting better with these bases, I'm going to start shaving with a straight. We are so excited for our next one. Thank you, Eric. You are doing amazing work.
Welcome to Messages!
Hey y'all, so if you are watching the live premiere of this episode on YouTube and you are in the live chat, not the comments, but the chat in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, we have a very special trivia contest for you right now to win this fabulous Atchafalaya sample size soap from the Cajun Blade. And here is the trivia question. The first one to correctly answer in that live chat will receive this conus only. And here is your question. What is the translation of the word Atchafalaya? Well, I love how this is a clean patchouli. It's in there just at the right level to kind of make my mouth water, you know, like in the earliest gourmandy chords.
I like that it's next to the cypress needle because the pokey parts of the needle are rounded out by the patchouli, and the parts of the patchouli that sometimes can get a little bossy, the cypress part rounds that out.
Eric, we just wanted to thank you and your family for sending all of this out to us for free to review, and we are more than happy to support you in your endeavors going forward. We are such fans of the Cajun Blade and all of the work y'all are doing.
There are new soaps already coming out for the new year, so they'll be back for more soon. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.